Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, quiet ocean just before dawn. The air is still, almost holding its breath, and the only sound is the soft, rhythmic sigh of water against sand. You don't know why you woke up so early today. You don't know why you felt this pull to come here, to this empty shoreline, while the rest of the world sleeps. But something in your chest told you to wait. Something whispered that you were on the verge of something unseen. That is exactly where you are in your life right now. You are standing on the shore of your own transformation, and the blessing that is about to hit your life is so immense, so perfectly timed, that it will rearrange every single thing you thought you knew about yourself, your future, and what you deserve. You feel it, don't you? That quiet hum beneath the surface of your everyday worries. That strange, persistent hope that refuses to die, no matter how many times life has tried to bury it. That is not wishful thinking. That is the rumble of an avalanche of grace that has already begun to move toward you. You have been walking through a season of waiting, a season of almost there and not yet. You have felt the weight of unanswered prayers, the sting of closed doors, the exhaustion of trying to hold everything together with hands that are trembling. And in that weariness, you may have started to believe that this is simply how life will always be. A series of small disappointments. A long hallway of empty promises. But listen to me carefully, the very fact that you can still feel the ache for more is proof that more is already on its way. The blessing that is coming for you will not be gentle. It will not tiptoe in or ask for permission. It will arrive like a wave that has been gathering strength from 1,000 miles away, and when it breaks over your life, you will be undone in the most beautiful way. You will look back at this moment, at this quiet morning of your soul, and you will realize that you were not lost. You were just being positioned. Every tear you have cried has been watering a seed you could not see. Every night you spent wondering if you would ever catch a break was actually the deep, fertile darkness that roots need to grow strong. And now, just as the first light begins to paint the horizon, the breakthrough you have been praying for is no longer a distant hope. It is a certainty. It is a force. It is a rushing wind about to fill every empty room of your heart. This blessing will not just add something to your life. It will multiply everything. It will heal the old wound you thought you had learned to live with. It will restore the relationship you had given up on. It will open the door you stopped knocking on. It will bring an idea, an opportunity, a person, a shift so perfectly aligned with your deepest longing that you will know, without a single doubt, that it was orchestrated by something far greater than luck. You will feel it in your body first. A loosening in your chest where the anxiety used to live. A warmth spreading through the places that felt frozen by fear. Then you will see it in your circumstances. The call you have been waiting for will finally come. The check that seemed lost will arrive. The apology you deserved will be spoken. The creative breakthrough that eluded you will pour out of you like water from a broken dam. And you will cry not because you are sad, but because you are relieved. Because you did not know how much longer you could hold on. Because the weight of almost giving up is still fresh on your shoulders. But you stayed. You kept showing up. You kept believing in the dark, and now the dawn is not coming. It is already here. Do not let your mind talk you out of this. Do not let the memory of past disappointments build a wall around your hope. This blessing is different. It has your name written on it. It has been traveling toward you since the very moment you made the decision to not let your circumstances write your story. Every small act of courage, every prayer you whispered into your pillow, every time you chose to be kind when you wanted to be bitter, every time you got back up after life knocked you down, you were sending out a signal. And that signal has finally reached its destination. The universe, or God, or whatever you believe in, has been listening. And the answer is not a maybe. It is a yes. A resounding, life-altering, sky-splitting yes that will echo through every chapter of your life from this day forward. So take a deep breath. Let the old story fall away. The chapter of struggle is closing. The chapter of receiving is about to begin. And when this blessing hits, it will not just change your situation. It will change you. It will make you a believer again. It will make you brave. It will make you trust the journey that you are on, even when you cannot see the next step. The wave is coming. The door is opening. The miracle is already in motion. Can you feel it? Right there, in the quiet of this moment, beneath the noise of your doubt, your past, your fear, there is a trembling. That is the blessing. It is so close now you could touch it. And when it finally arrives, you will understand why it took so long. Because what is coming for you is not just an answer. It is an invitation to live the life you were born for. And you are ready. You have always been ready. You just did not know it yet. But you are about to find out. And yet, before that blessing can fully land, before that wave can break over you in its fullness, there is something that must happen first. Something that will feel, in the moment, like the opposite of a blessing. It will feel like loss. It will feel like confusion. It will feel like everything you built is suddenly cracking beneath your feet. This is the part no one warns you about. The collapse. Not the kind that destroys you, but the kind that clears the ground. Because what is coming for you is too large, too sacred, too alive to fit inside the container of your old life. So the container must break. And it will break in ways that leave you breathless. You may have already started to feel the tremors. A relationship that once felt solid now feels like shifting sand. A job you thought was secure suddenly feels like a cage, or worse, it disappears entirely. A dream you have been holding close to your chest for years begins to feel hollow, like it belonged to a version of you that no longer exists. This is not punishment. This is not bad luck. This is the universe clearing the table so it can set a feast. But oh, it hurts while it is happening. You will wake up one morning and realize that the life you were living no longer fits. The routines that once comforted you now suffocate you. The people you once laughed with now feel like strangers. The goals you were chasing now feel like distractions. And you will look around and ask yourself, what happened? Where did I go wrong? The answer is nowhere. You did not go wrong. You simply outgrew the shape of your old existence, and the walls you built to feel safe have now become the very things that are holding you back. So they must come down. And the coming down is messy. It is loud. It is lonely. You will lose things you thought you could not live without. A friendship that was built on who you used to be will fade, and the silence will feel like an abandonment. A financial security you clung to will waver, and the fear will whisper that you are failing. A sense of identity you wrapped around your accomplishments will unravel, and you will stare into the mirror and wonder who you are when the titles and the roles are stripped away. This is the collapse. And it is the most sacred dismantling you will ever experience. Because what is actually happening is that every false foundation is being removed. Every support that was never meant to hold you is being pulled out from under you. And when it all falls, you will hit something solid. Something real. Something that has been there all along, buried beneath the clutter of your trying and your striving and your pretending. You will hit the bedrock of who you truly are. But first, you have to let it fall. You have to stop grabbing at the crumbling pieces. You have to stop begging the old doors to stay open. You have to stop trying to glue back together the version of your life that has already served its purpose. This is the hardest part. Your hands will want to hold on. Your heart will want to go back to the familiar pain rather than face the unknown possibility. Your mind will tell you that if you just try harder, you can fix it, you can save it, you can keep everything from falling apart. But the collapse is not an accident. It is an intervention. Imagine a caterpillar inside its cocoon. To become a butterfly, it must completely break down into a kind of living soup. Every structure that made it a caterpillar must dissolve. There is no other way. If you tried to open the cocoon too early, if you tried to rescue the creature from its messy, terrifying undoing, there would be no butterfly. Only a broken caterpillar. You are in the cocoon right now. And the breaking down you are feeling is not a sign that you are lost. It is a sign that you are transforming. The confusion in your mind is old thoughts dying to make room for new ones. The ache in your heart is old attachments loosening their grip. The emptiness you feel is not a void. It is a clearing. A spacious, holy clearing where something entirely new is about to be planted. So do not run from the collapse. Do not numb it with distractions or drown it with noise or try to fill it with anything that is not the real thing. Sit in it. Let the silence be uncomfortable. Let the questions rise up without demanding immediate answers. Let yourself grieve what is leaving, because it is real, and it mattered, and it held you for a season. But do not let yourself believe that this is the end. This is the middle. This is the messy, sacred, terrifying middle where everything that was not meant for you falls away so that everything that is meant for you can finally find you. You will lose some people, and it will sting. But the ones who remain, and the ones who arrive in the aftermath, will be the ones who can see the real you. The ones who are not threatened by your growth. The ones who will stand in the rubble with you and not ask you to pretend. You will lose some of your certainty, and it will feel like falling. But the uncertainty you land in will teach you to trust in a way you never could when you thought you had all the answers. You will lose control, and it will be terrifying. But on the other side of that terror is a freedom you cannot even imagine right now. The freedom of not having to hold everything together. The freedom of letting life carry you instead of you carrying life. The people you see who seem to glow with an inner peace, who move through the world with a quiet confidence, who are not rattled by chaos or crushed by disappointment, do you want to know their secret? They have all been through a collapse. Every single one of them. They lost the job. They lost the love. They lost the dream. They lost the illusion of safety. And in that loss, something in them died. But something else was born. Something that cannot be shaken because it was built on the only foundation that lasts, the knowledge that they are held by something greater than their circumstances. That is what is happening to you right now. The life you are losing was never going to be the life that held your blessing. It was too small. Too fragile. Too full of compromises and quiet desperations and things you settled for because you did not believe you deserved more. But the blessing that is coming requires a vessel that can hold it. And that vessel is being forged in the fire of this collapse. Every time you feel like you cannot take one more loss, you are actually being strengthened. Every time you think the ground has given way beneath you for the last time, you are actually being deepened. Every tear that falls is watering the soil of your becoming. So let the walls fall. Let the old contracts expire. Let the people who cannot make the journey fall away with love and without bitterness. Let the plans you made when you were half asleep crumble into dust. Because on the other side of this collapse is not emptiness. It is a wide open field. And the blessing that is about to hit your life needs that wide open field to land. It needs room to grow. It needs space to breathe. And you, my dear, are about to have more space than you have ever had in your entire life. Do not be afraid of the silence that follows the crash. That silence is not the absence of life. It is the pause before the first note of a new song. A song so beautiful it will make sense of every single note of pain that came before it. Just hold on. Just breathe. Just trust the collapse. It is not your enemy. It is the midwife of your blessing. And so you find yourself in the deep suffering. Not the kind that passes in a day or a week, but the kind that settles into your bones. The kind that becomes the background noise of every waking hour, and the unwelcome guest in every dream. You have been walking through this valley for what feels like forever, and the walls are so high now that you cannot see the sun. You cannot remember what it felt like to wake up without a weight on your chest. You cannot imagine a version of your life where you are not tired all the way down to your soul. This is the deep suffering. And it is the loneliest place you have ever been. Because from the outside, people look at you and they see someone who is still functioning, still showing up, still breathing. They do not see the war that is raging inside you every single minute. They do not see how hard it is to smile when your heart is a battlefield. They do not see the energy it takes to answer a simple question when your mind is screaming. And so you carry it alone. You carry it in the shower where you finally let the tears fall where no one can hear. You carry it in the car rides home where you sit in the driveway for an extra 10 minutes because you are not ready to pretend anymore. You carry it in the silence of 3 a.m. when the rest of the world is sleeping and you are wide awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if this is just what your life is going to be. The deep suffering has a voice. And that voice is relentless. It whispers to you in the quiet moments. It says, "This will never end." It says, "You are broken beyond repair." It says, "Everyone else is moving forward, and you are stuck here in this dark room with no windows and no doors." It says, "Maybe you deserve this. Maybe you did something wrong. Maybe if you had been better, smarter, stronger, braver, this would not be happening to you." And the worst part is that you start to believe it. You start to believe that the suffering is who you are now. Not a season you are passing through, but a permanent residence. You stop telling people how you really feel because you have become tired of your own story. You stop praying because the prayers feel like they are hitting a ceiling made of iron. You stop hoping because hope has only ever been a setup for disappointment. And you settle into the suffering like an old, uncomfortable chair that you have sat in for so long you have forgotten there are other places to sit. But listen to me. Listen to me carefully because this is the most important thing you will hear in this entire story. The deep suffering is not proof that you are abandoned. It is not proof that you are broken. It is not proof that your life will never change. The deep suffering is proof that you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still fighting, even if it does not feel like fighting. Sometimes the fight is simply not giving up. Sometimes the victory is just making it to the end of the day. Sometimes the courage is getting out of bed when every part of you wants to stay under the covers forever. And you have done that. Day after day after day. You have done that when no one was watching. You have done that when no one was clapping. You have done that when even you did not believe you could. That is not weakness. That is the strongest thing a human being can do. The deep suffering is also a furnace. And I know you cannot feel it right now, but that furnace is burning away everything that is not truly you. It is burning away the pretense. The people-pleasing. The need to look like you have it all together. The false identities you wrapped around yourself like costumes. The suffering is stripping you down to the raw, honest, unfiltered truth of who you are. And who you are, beneath all the roles and the masks and the performances, is someone who can feel this deeply. Someone who cares this much. Someone who has survived everything that has tried to destroy them and is still standing, even if they are swaying. That is not nothing. That is everything. In the deep suffering, you learn things you could never learn in the sunshine. You learn that you are stronger than you knew, not because you feel strong, but because you keep going when you feel nothing but weak. You learn that your heart is bigger than your pain, because even in the midst of your own agony, you still find moments to care about someone else. You learn that joy is not the absence of suffering, but the presence of something deeper that suffering cannot touch. A small, stubborn flame inside you that refuses to go out no matter how hard the wind blows. You have felt that flame, have you not? In the middle of the worst night, there was a single moment. A laugh that escaped before you could stop it. A sunset that caught your breath. A song that made you feel something other than the ache. A hand on your shoulder. A memory of a time when you were happy. That tiny flicker is your anchor. That tiny flicker is the truth that the suffering is not the whole story. That tiny flicker is the promise that you will not always be in this place. Hold on to it. Grip it with both hands. Let it be the one candle in the vast, dark cathedral of your grief. It is enough. It has always been enough. The deep suffering is also where you meet yourself for the first time. Not the self you show the world, not the self you wish you were, not the self you are trying to become, but the self that simply is. The one who is tired. The one who is hurting. The one who has been carrying an impossible weight and never got the recognition for it. That self deserves your compassion. That self deserves your gentleness. That self has been waiting for you to stop judging them and start holding them. So put your hand on your heart right now. Feel the beat. That rhythm is your life. It has not stopped. It will not stop. And every single beat is a declaration that you are still here. You are still worthy. You are still loved, even when you cannot feel the love. Especially when you cannot feel the love. There is a story about trees that grow in the darkest forests. Because they have to reach so far to find the light, they grow taller and stronger than trees that have everything easy. Their roots go deeper because they have to search for water. Their trunks are thicker because they have to withstand the winds that whip through the gaps in the canopy. You are that tree. The deep suffering is making you reach. It is making you grow. It is sending your roots down into something ancient and unshakable. And one day, you will break through the top of that dark forest. You will see the sky. And you will look back down at the darkness you came from, and you will realize that you did not just survive it. You were shaped by it. Made stronger by it. Made wiser by it. Made more compassionate by it. Made more real by it. The deep suffering is not the end of your story. It is the middle. It is the part where the hero is tested. It is the part where everything seems lost. And it is always, always, always the part right before the dawn. The darkest hour is the one that comes just before the sun rises. You are in that hour right now. The sun has not forgotten how to rise. The sun is already moving toward you. The light is already gathering on the other side of the horizon. And when it comes, it will not come slowly. It will flood your whole world in an instant. But for now, just breathe. Just stay. Just let yourself be held by the suffering instead of fighting it. Let it teach you. Let it change you. Let it hollow you out so that there is room for something new. Because the blessing that is coming is so enormous that you need to be this empty to receive it. The deep suffering is not your enemy. It is the chisel. And you are the masterpiece that is being carved. Every blow hurts. Every strike leaves a mark. But when the sculpture is finished, when the unnecessary pieces are all chipped away, what remains will take your breath away. What remains will be beautiful beyond words. What remains will be you. The real you. The one who has been hiding beneath the surface all along. And you will look in the mirror and you will not recognize yourself at first. Because you will be glowing. You will be whole. You will be free. And you will whisper, with tears streaming down your face, it was worth it. Every single moment of it was worth it. That is what the deep suffering is for. That is what it has always been for. So do not run from it anymore. Do not curse it anymore. Do not waste your energy wishing it away. Let it do its work. You are not breaking. You are breaking open. And what comes out of that opening is the most precious thing in the world. You. Finally, fully, beautifully you. And when the deep suffering has done its work, when you have been hollowed out and broken open and stripped down to the rawest version of yourself, there is nothing left to do but pray. Not the kind of prayer that is tidy and polite. Not the kind of prayer that uses the right words in the right order. Not the kind of prayer that tries to impress anyone, including God. The prayer that rises from the ashes of your collapse is different. It is slow. It is honest. It is the only thing you have left to give, and so you give it with empty hands and an open heart. You kneel, not because you are religious, but because you cannot stand anymore. You close your eyes, not because you are holy, but because you cannot bear to look at the wreckage one more time. And from somewhere deep inside you, from a place you did not even know existed, the words begin to come. They come slowly, like water seeping through cracked earth. They come quietly, like a conversation between two old friends who have been through everything together. And this is what you say. You say, I am tired. I am so tired. I have been pretending to be strong for so long, and I cannot do it anymore. So I am not going to pretend with you. You see me. You have always seen me. You saw me when I was laughing and when I was lying and when I was trying so hard to hold it all together. And now you see me here, on my knees, with nothing left to offer but the truth. So here is the truth. I do not understand this journey. I do not understand why I had to lose so much. I do not understand why the healing has taken so long. I do not understand why the suffering had to cut so deep. I have asked those questions 1,000 times, and I have not received a single answer that my mind could grasp. So I am not asking for answers anymore. I am asking for something else. And you pause, because the next words are the hardest. I am asking for the strength to keep going, even when I cannot see the path. I am asking for the faith to believe that something good is still possible, even when everything around me says otherwise. I am asking for the grace to forgive the people who hurt me, not because they deserve it, but because I deserve to be free. I am asking for the courage to let go of the things I have been clutching so tightly, the plans and the expectations and the versions of my life that did not come true. I am asking for the wisdom to know what is mine to carry and what I must lay down. I am asking for the patience to wait for your timing, even when my heart is screaming for relief right now. I am asking for the humility to receive the blessing that is coming, even though I do not feel worthy of it. I am asking for the eyes to see the miracles that are already here, hidden in the ordinary moments that I have been too exhausted to notice. I am asking for the ears to hear your voice beneath all the noise of my anxiety and my fear. I am asking for the heart to love again, even though love has broken me before. I am asking for the wholeness that you promised, the kind that does not depend on my circumstances being perfect. I am asking to be held when I cannot hold myself. I am asking to be carried when I cannot walk another step. I am asking to be reminded, over and over again, that I am not alone in this. That you are here. That you have never left. That every tear I have cried has been collected. That every sleepless night has been witnessed. That every silent scream has been heard. And then, after all the asking, there is a long pause. A sacred silence where you stop talking and you just listen. And in that silence, something shifts. You feel it in your chest first. A loosening. A softening. A warmth that has nothing to do with the temperature of the room. And you realize that the prayer was never really about the words. The prayer was about the posture of your heart. The willingness to stop pretending. The courage to admit that you need help. The vulnerability to say, I cannot do this alone. That is the prayer that moves mountains. Not the pretty one, but the real one. Not the confident one, but the trembling one. Not the one that demands, but the one that surrenders. And so you keep going. You say, I trust you. I do not feel the trust, but I choose it anyway. I choose to believe that this suffering has a purpose, even if I never understand it in this lifetime. I choose to believe that the blessing is real, even though I cannot see it yet. I choose to believe that you are good, even when life has not been. I choose to believe that I am loved, even when I feel unlovable. I choose to believe that tomorrow holds something that today cannot imagine. I choose to believe that the best is yet to come. I choose to believe that you are not finished with me. That this is not the end of my story. That the final chapter has not been written. That there is still joy coming. Still laughter coming. Still love coming. Still peace coming. Still purpose coming. Still abundance coming. Still healing coming. Still restoration coming. Still beauty rising from these ashes. I choose to believe it. Not because I have proof. But because the alternative is despair. And I have lived in despair long enough. I am choosing hope. I am choosing life. I am choosing you. So here I am. Broken but breathing. Empty but open. Tired but willing. Do with me what you will. I am yours. And I am ready. Finally, truly, deeply ready for the blessing that is about to hit my life. Amen. And you stay there for a moment longer, kneeling in the quiet, feeling something you have not felt in a very long time. It is not happiness. It is not relief. It is not the answer you were asking for. It is something simpler and more profound. It is peace. A small, fragile, but unmistakable peace. And you know, without understanding how you know, that the prayer has been heard. That something has shifted in the invisible realm. That the blessing is closer now than it was before you spoke. That the universe, or God, or whatever name you give to the mystery that holds the stars in place, has leaned in to listen to you. And you are not forgotten. You have never been forgotten. And the answer is already on its way. And then, in the stillness after the prayer, when your heart is raw and open and you have stopped trying to control anything, something extraordinary begins to happen. The silence itself seems to thicken, to become almost solid, and you realize you are not alone in it. There is a presence here. It has been here all along, of course, but you were too loud, too frantic, too full of your own trying to notice. Now, in the emptiness, you can feel it. A warmth that is not coming from outside of you but from somewhere deep within. A voice that does not speak in words but in feelings, in impressions, in a knowing that rises up from the very core of your being. And this is what it says to you. Not in English, not in any human language, but in the language of your soul. It says, "Child, I have been waiting for this moment. Not because I am distant or cruel, but because you had to come to the end of yourself before you could truly hear me. You have been praying for so long, asking for things to change, begging for the pain to stop, pleading for answers. And all the while, I have been here, closer than your own breath, watching you struggle and ache and fight. And I have not intervened because I am not interested in giving you a comfortable life. I am interested in giving you a transformed one. There is a difference. A comfortable life would have left you exactly as you were. Small. Safe. Unchanged. But a transformed life requires fire. It requires loss. It requires the dismantling of everything you thought you needed so that you could discover what you actually cannot live without. That is what this journey has been. Not punishment. Preparation. And you feel a sob rising in your throat because the words are so true, so tender, so exactly what you needed to hear. The voice continues, gentle but unshakable. You have asked me why the blessing is taking so long. And I will tell you the truth. The blessing has been ready for you for a very long time. But you were not ready for it. The container of your life was too small. Too cracked. Too filled with old wounds that would have poisoned the gift. So I had to enlarge you. I had to stretch you on the rack of your own suffering until your heart grew big enough to hold what I am giving you. Every tear was a measurement. Every sleepless night was an expansion. Every loss was a clearing of space. You thought you were being destroyed. You were being prepared. You thought I had forgotten you. I was working on you in ways you cannot see, like a gardener tending to roots beneath the frozen soil. The winter had to be long so the spring could be explosive. And now, here you are. Empty enough. Soft enough. Broken enough. Open enough. Now, finally, you are ready to receive. The room feels different now. The air is lighter. Your body, which has been holding so much tension for so long, begins to release. Your shoulders drop. Your jaw unclenches. Your hands, which were curled into fists, relax and open. And as they open, you feel something new. Not a thing, not an object, but a current. A flow of energy that begins to move through you like water through a dry riverbed after the first rain. It starts at the top of your head and moves down, slowly, deliberately, washing through every part of you. It reaches your eyes and they clear. It reaches your throat and you can breathe again. It reaches your chest and the knot that has lived there for years begins to dissolve. It reaches your stomach and the fear that has been gnawing at you falls away. It reaches your legs and they feel strong. It reaches your feet and they feel grounded. And you realize, with a shock that is both terrifying and wonderful, that you are being transformed. Not gradually. Not over time. But now. In this moment. The blessing is not something that is coming to you from the outside. The blessing is this transformation itself. You are becoming the person who can hold the life you have always wanted. And that person is not who you were before the collapse. That person is new. Fresh. Unburdened. Do you see? The voice asks, and it sounds almost like laughter now, warm and full of joy. Do you see what I have been doing? I was not punishing you. I was pruning you. I was not testing you. I was teaching you. I was not delaying your blessing. I was deepening your capacity to enjoy it. The person you were 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, would not have known what to do with what is coming. They would have been overwhelmed. They would have found a way to sabotage it because they did not believe they deserved it. They would have hidden from it because they were afraid of being seen. But you, the you that has been forged in the fire, the you that has walked through the valley and sat in the darkness and prayed with empty hands, you can handle this. You can receive this. You can steward this. You can become this. And as the voice speaks, images begin to form in your mind. Not dreams you have been chasing, but something deeper. Something more aligned with who you actually are, not who you thought you should be. You see yourself in a new home, but it is not about the address. It is about the peace you feel there. You see yourself doing work that matters, but it is not about the title. It is about the joy that fills your days. You see yourself surrounded by people who see you, really see you, and love you not despite your brokenness but because of it. You see yourself laughing in a way you have not laughed in years. Freely. Fully. Without holding back. You see yourself waking up in the morning and feeling grateful before your feet even touch the floor. You see yourself falling asleep at night without the weight of regret pressing on your chest. And you know, with a certainty that bypasses all doubt, that this is not fantasy. This is prophecy. This is the life that has been prepared for you since before you were born. I am not giving you a new life, the voice says. I am giving you back the life that was always meant to be yours. The one that got buried beneath other people's expectations and your own fears and the lies that the world has been whispering in your ear. I am clearing away the debris. I am pulling back the veil. I am restoring what was stolen. Not gradually. Not partially. Completely. Abundantly. Lavishly. Because that is who I am. I do not give crumbs to those who have starved. I do not give sips to those who have thirsted. I give feasts. I give rivers. I give more than you can ask or imagine. And you, my beloved, have asked. You have imagined. You have hoped against hope. And now I am answering in a way that will leave you breathless. The transformation is not finished. You feel it continuing, layer by layer, like a building being reconstructed from the inside out. Old beliefs are falling away. Old patterns are losing their grip. Old fears are losing their power. And in their place, something new is taking root. A quiet confidence that does not need to prove anything. A deep peace that does not depend on circumstances. A fierce joy that cannot be extinguished by disappointment. A love that flows through you and from you, touching everything and everyone in its path. You are not the same person who started this journey. You are not even the same person who prayed an hour ago. You are being born again, not in the religious sense, but in the real sense. The sense of a seed breaking open in the dark soil and pushing toward the light. The sense of a caterpillar dissolving in the cocoon and emerging with wings. The sense of a phoenix rising from the ashes, not because of magic, but because fire has always been the doorway to rebirth. The voice grows quieter now, but no less present. It speaks one more time, and the words settle into you like stones dropped into still water, sending ripples through every part of your being. Go now. Not back to your old life, because that life no longer exists. Forward. Into the unknown. Into the blessing. Into everything I have prepared for you. Do not be afraid. I go with you. I have always gone with you. And I will never leave you. Not for a single step. Not for a single breath. Not for a single heartbeat. You are mine. You have always been mine. And this, right here, right now, is only the beginning. The presence withdraws, but it does not leave. It simply steps back, like a parent who has taught a child to walk and is now watching from a few feet away, ready to catch them if they fall but trusting them to take the first steps on their own. You open your eyes. The room looks the same, but it is not the same. You look the same, but you are not the same. Something has shifted at the very foundation of your existence. The suffering has not been erased, but it has been redeemed. The past has not been forgotten, but it has been healed. The future is not guaranteed, but it is bright. And the blessing that was about to hit your life? It has landed. It is here. It is not a thing or an event or a circumstance. It is you. Transformed. Ready. Free. Go now. Your new life is waiting. And it is more beautiful than you ever dared to dream.